independent brand that's right-sized? Searching for elite hybrids that have been optimized, tested in your geography, and localized? Did we run out of words that rhyme, so now we have to use metaphysicized? Maybe so. But if you answered yes to any of these questions, then it's probably time you get Wiffleized. Choose Wiffles hybrids this season, and let's get familiarized.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today, Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools. Mr. Clapp, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Just a great Monday here in Pike County and Monticello Schools.
I'll tell you what, beautiful Monday.
How are you?
For sure. Yeah, doing well. Thanks for asking, and thanks for coming on as always. And you know, Mr. Clapp, it's going to be a warm homecoming week, and I can't believe it's homecoming week already.
Yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable. Homecoming week is one of those milestones during the fall that you're really excited about. Our kids just do a great job with it. Week 2 in football season was like, get out your winter coats. And now here we are, 90 degrees again. And, it's just crazy Illinois weather.
It really is. It really is. What do you got going on for homecoming week?
Yeah, so homecoming week this year, we got all of our dress up days. We're pretty exciting. Just seeing kids today walking in and out of the schools wearing their pajamas and just the K through 12. That's what's really cool about Monticello is we got kindergartners and seniors doing all the dress up days and just taking part of the fun. And I think that's what's really cool about Monticello is everybody's involved. And it's just another one of those things when you get uptown on Friday with our homecoming parade, you see alumni, all the businesses, basically everything shuts down at noon for this parade. And it's just really cool to see all the floats and things of that nature.
If I'm not mistaken, I've heard, and I don't know how true this is, but I've heard Monticello's homecoming parade is truly one of a kind.
Oh, it's awesome. So it's everything Monticello High School, every club, every activity, every sport has a float in the parade or a trailer that gets pulled in the parade. And there's nothing other than Monticello activities, Monticello High School activities are in the parade. I think that's what makes it unique is we don't have anybody else in the parade. It's just all about Monticello High School. And I think, that's what keeps the alumni coming back. And what's really neat is we'll have, the 5-year reunions lined up in the parade as well. Several of our staff it's their 5-year or 10-year, 15, whatever it may be. They'll be riding in the parade as well. It's really cool to see that and see the community come out and support it. It steps off at noon. Our marching band, we just had the Sage City Invitational. They'll step us off at noon. So it's exciting time.
Warm Sage City Invitational, I think, from last Saturday.
Oh, my goodness.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, they made some even exceptions. It was like high of 92 or 93 that day. We canceled. We had baseball get postponed, middle school baseball. Cross country went ahead and ran. We had some travel soccer teams playing, but the band contest continued.
Yeah.
We did make some exceptions with not having to wear the wool uniforms, which was a great idea to get those off. But it's one of those things where it gets so hot in those uniforms, and we had some participants get a little dehydrated and overheated. But luckily we have Kirby Hospital here in town. They were able to support us and make sure our kids got hydrated and didn't have too many emergencies. But yeah, it was a challenge on Saturday for sure.
Is that music festival? I call it a festival, like what contest, I guess, if you want to call it that. Is it always second week of September? I don't know why. It feels like that's way early for this year.
Yeah, it typically is. I think I agree. It kind of seemed early this year, but I think it's because we started school so early. Everything seems kind of off this year. Even homecoming, we've had homecoming this time of the year in the past, but it still seems early. But yeah, I think it's that second second weekend of September, and we love hosting it. Our kids did an awesome job. Talking to Mrs. Allender, we don't compete in our own invitational. We just do an exhibition for our fans and for these other bands. So it's really cool just to be able to have a performance with no real pressure to win the contest. And we just have these other teams that we host do the actual competing on that day.
Sure. Very good. Well, homecoming week in Monticello, Mr. Clapp. Hopefully it's a good one. And, it's going to be a little warm for, I don't know if you do like the bonfire, the powder puff games, things like that, but going to be a little toasty for some of those maybe.
Yeah. So Wednesday we have our powder puff game and our powder puff games and our bonfires on Wednesday night. We moved it off of Thursdays about 3 or 4 years ago, so we wouldn't compete with away volleyball games. But yeah, it's going to be toasty. You won't have to stand close to the fire to stay warm. But yeah, it's fun. I joke that we have, for our bonfire, we collect boxes and kind of pin them up and light them on fire. It's the quickest bonfire that I've ever been involved of. It goes up pretty quick, and but it's a lot of fun with the powder puff game, the band. It's a lot of fun, and just one of those things where as a kid, you think back to your own homecoming experiences. The bonfire was a big part of that, and it's just a lot of fun to see kids still partaking in the same type of traditions that have been going on for years and years and years.
Sure. Very good. Mr. Adam Clapp, Superintendent of Monticello Schools, our guest on the Zoom here for this morning. And Mr. Clapp, as we continue on, I know you've got a board meeting this week. What's on the board meeting agenda? That's got to be weird to have a homecoming week and a board meeting in the same week.
Yeah.
What's on the agenda this year, or this week?
So the big ticket on the agenda this month is our budget, and we'll have a facility update as well. We're right in the middle of our bathroom project wrapped up before the start of the school year. We're in the middle of still working through our elevator project, but so we'll have an update on that. But the main ticket item is the FY26 budget.
So how's the budget looking?
Yeah, and to make budget is looking good. And to your point on homecoming week and board meetings, so I feel like every few years it falls on the same week, and it's just an action-packed week, and then you jam in a board meeting on the Wednesday. So we'll have a board meeting. Hopefully, board meeting is a good one and an efficient one, so we can go catch the end of the bonfire and the powder puff games there. But yeah, as far as the budget goes, feeling really good about the budget. I think, like we've talked about almost every year around this time, is Monticello's budget hinges on CPPRT revenue. And according to the Illinois Department of Revenue, we should see a small uptick in CPPRT revenue for FY26 when compared to FY25. But we're still being conservative on that. So last year in FY25, we received $9.8 million of CPPRT revenue. This year, we're slated to receive just above $10 million of CPPRT revenue. So we're looking forward to that. I'm still not 100% sold, just tracking the data myself. I think I'm confident we'll be at the same funding level we were last year. And if Illinois Department of Revenue is correct and we're a little bit higher than last year, that's kudos to them and exciting for us.
Yeah. So how are you conservative with those dollars? Because I don't know how this works, but from what I've come to understand, like it's you can have a reserve as a school district, but if I'm not mistaken, like if entities, and this may be for other entities, not necessarily schools, but like if you have a reserve that reaches a certain threshold, like you have to use it or return it or something of that nature. How does all this work? How are you conservative with those dollars?
Well, I guess when I say conservative, I under budget by a little bit as far as the expected CPPRT revenues, because it's not just because the Illinois Department of Revenue says this is the amount you're getting doesn't mean that's the exact amount you're getting. So I'm conservative when I'm budgeting those revenues. And to your point about fund balances and things of that nature. So in your operating funds, with your combined operating funds over the course of the last 3-year average of your total expenditures. You can't have 2.5 times.
Well, I think we lost Mr. Clapp there for a moment on the Zoom. We'll see if we can't get him back here in just a moment. But Mr. Adam Clapp is the superintendent of Monticello Schools, our guest on the Zoom here for this morning. Tell you what, we'll take a time out here and effort to get Mr. Clapp back on the morning show on WHOW. Break here, more to come on the morning show.
WHOW.
Selection for a new Chevrolet is here at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. This is Scott Baum. Yes, from the Corvettes to the Suburbans and everything to help your family or business, Chevrolet has value options for your needs. This month, see our Silverado trucks in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel. Our Silverados have big savings with more discounts if you trade yours in. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. Ugh, it's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today, Mr. Adam Clapp, superintendent of Monticello Schools. And Mr. Clapp, I think we had a little miscue there, but we've recovered you back on the call. We were talking about budgets and how kind of revenues work and that sort of thing. Highlight that for us. Pick that back up if you don't mind.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I don't know when we actually got cut off, but when in terms of CPPRT revenue, I try to budget conservatively because it's not a guarantee that you're going to receive those funds. We've been very fortunate over the last few years, but anyway, I still budget conservatively on those CPPRT revenues. So I'm confident we'll get our funding, same flat level funding from last year, and I'm hopeful that we'll get a little bit more, like Illinois Department of Revenue says.
Yeah.
In terms of kind of where we are as far as, do we want to continue to build fund balances, or are we investing in facilities? Are we investing in, tax abatement? I think we've done all the above, and it's with this year's tax bill. We abated $1.1 million worth of taxes in the tune of dropped our tax rate about 32 cents. So we're very proud of that, which puts our tax rate as one of the lowest ones in the area. And then I believe our tax rate was 3.32 last year. So that was very positive, and we're looking forward to continuing to look at how we can continue to abate taxes and keep our tax rate low while still maintaining high quality facilities and investing in our teachers and our people and giving high quality raises. So Monticello is still a destination place. So,
Sure.
We just don't want to just continue to build our fund balances. We want to be very conscientious of how we spend those dollars.
Mm-hmm.
But we've done a good job of that and I would say, even back into Dr. Zimmerman's tenure, in the last 5 years as well, we've really done a good job of being good stewards of taxpayer money.
How long have you been Sup now, Mr. Clapp?
Yeah, starting year 4.
Wow,
So
I can't believe that.
It flies by. Yeah, it's just like yesterday. I was across the way in the principal's office over at the high school. But it's been great. Dr. Zimmerman left the district in a great spot and kind of did some updates of facilities with our big referendum project, and we've been able to continue to build from there.
Yeah. So are you? I want to get to the budget, and then I'll ask this question later.
Yeah.
How much of the Monticello school budget does CPPRT make up?
Yeah. So We are depending on the year. So there's a few years when those really high CPPRT revenues came in that our revenue budget was 60% of it was CPPRT. So, but on a normal year, it's about 45 to 50%
Okay.
of our revenue. And because of that local revenue source, that CPPRT revenue, we are considered a tier 4 evidence-based funding district for the state of Illinois. So we receive a flat $1,020,000 from the state in EBF funding because we are so heavily reliant on the CPPRT revenue.
Yeah. Where does the rest of that money come from? I mean, I'm sure local tax dollars and then what, state of Illinois dollars after that?
So it's basically CPPRT revenue, local tax revenue, our federal grants and our state funding, kind of not necessarily in that tail end order, but we receive very small percentage from state and very small percentage from federal.
Gotcha.
Because of those state or those CPPRT dollars.
Sure. Very good. Very good. Well, anything on the budget, Mr. Clapp? We've not done anything you want to talk about there?
No, I think we're good. I think the challenge for all school districts right now is the idea that, there may be some federal grants that are going to change in FY27. We have our amounts for this year in FY26, but in the future, that may change going forward. But I think for us, when years are great with CPPRT, we do a good job of saving that money and building the fund balances. That way, in the case we have a downturn in grant funding or even CPPRT revenue from year to year, we still have fund balances to rely on. That way we're not losing programming or losing people. We still have a good fund balance to dive into.
Sure. Very good. I did hear one of your peers mention to me, and you'll have to forgive me, I can't remember who it was. This has been the last few weeks and it's been a little chaotic, but that categorical payments are starting to fall behind. Is that a thing for you all?
It is a thing. And we budgeted for that. I believe I don't have the exact percentages on the proration right here off the top of my head, but we do know that mandated categoricals are a challenge right now for the state of Illinois. The state continues to put money in the EBF formula, but they still aren't fully funding mandated categoricals. So our transportation fund balance kind of takes a hit on that. But once again, in our funding model, when we see a downturn in funding from the state, we're able to supplement CPPRT revenue to fill in those voids.
Yeah.
That way we're not just diving completely into our fund balances. So we're very fortunate in Monticello. That's not the case for everybody.
Yeah, sure. Well, again, Mr. Adam Clapp, superintendent of Monticello Schools, on the Zoom with us. How are things like bus drivers in Monticello? Are you struggling to find folks to drive your buses, get kids around right now?
Yeah, so I think finding bus drivers are a challenge every year. For us, we contract our busing services through Illinois Central School Bus. So they are in charge of the hiring processes for them. I think right now we're fully staffed, but at the that can change at any time. And it's one of those things where I don't think everybody realizes the importance of bus drivers. They are the first people that greet kids in the morning and the last people that greet kids at the end of the day. And we do a great job of trying to involve Illinois Central School Bus in our day-to-day operations, as far as making them feel like they are one of us. And even though they're not our actual employee, we contract, but we still try to make them feel like one of us, because they are with our kids in the morning and in the afternoons. And they're a vital piece of our education here at Monticello.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, Mr. Clapp, on that note, I got a couple of minutes left with you yet still this morning. What did I miss? Yeah. What did you want to put out there for us this morning?
I think we covered the main parts here. I think, homecoming week, I can't tell you enough. You've seen enough homecoming football games and been around that it's a special time. I'm looking forward to seeing the alumni back. This summer we got to hire some former Monticello Sages into the district, which is always exciting. But on this Friday night when we host St. Teresa, we haven't played St. Teresa in football in several years. So that'll be nice to welcome back that rivalry. And if you talk to people from, 15, 20 years ago, St. Teresa was our biggest rival. So I think the alumni base is excited for this game. And it's just really cool to see all of these graduating classes come back and to see. So typically we don't have an early season game that's so attended like we had against Unity, where we had just a couple thousand people there, end zone to end zone, standing room only. That's typically reserved for our homecoming games. So Rick Ridings will have the tailgate, free hot dogs and chili. Might be a little warm for chili, but it's a great situation for him to be out there. And he donates a portion back to the junior class. So it's always awesome. He's a great partner for us. So we're looking forward to it. I can't wait to see all the alumni back and get to see the familiar faces there.
Exciting times. Mr. Clapp, always good to catch up with you. Monticello School Superintendent Adam Clapp on the Zoom with us this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news on the way.
WHOW.